Hi, my name is Fernanda Negol and I'm an immigration attorney here in Texas. Today, I would like to talk to you about petitioning your spouse. So that means petitioning your spouse with a U.S. residency. There's two ways of doing this. One of them is called the adjustment of status. That means that your spouse is here in the US and you're gonna process her or his residency through USCIS, which is United States Citizenship and Immigration Services. The other way is doing a consular process. That means that your spouse is outside of the US and you have to start the petition here in US, but then it will be sent to either the US Embassy or the US Consulate in your spouse's country of origin. So going back to the adjustment of status, meaning your spouse is already here in the US. What do I need to file? When do I need to file evidence documents? We will talk about everything right now. At the very beginning of the process, we're gonna file an I-130 petition and an I-485 adjustment of status, which is just basically the green card. Overall, the process is taking a little bit more than a year. But the good news is that we need to file for 3 documents while you wait for the green card. One of them is a travel document, the other one is an employment authorization, and a social security card. With these documents, your spouse can work, they can travel, they can even open a bank account if they want. So that will be the forms that you need to file at the very beginning. Now, after this 12 plus months that is taking for the green card to be processed, most likely you will not have an interview with an immigration officer. Why? Because USCIS is not really conducting interviews for marriage petitions anymore. So that is why we need to file very strong evidence at the very beginning of the case. What type of evidence? Well, you can submit photos, you can submit affidavits from family and friends, you can submit utility bills, cell phone bill, electricity, water, anything that has both of your names on it. So now let's talk about the final step, the approval. So if you've been married for less than 2 years at the time of the approval, your spouse will get a conditional green card, meaning conditional to the marriage. But if you've been married for more than 2 years, then your spouse will get a permanent green card for 10 years. So we already talked about adjustment of status. Now we can talk about consular process, meaning your spouse is outside of the US. This process will have 3 main steps. Step number 1 is filing the petition with USCIS. You will need evidence of the marriage and some other general documents such as marriage certificate, birth certificates, passport, etc. Step number 2 is National Visa Center. National Visa Center will get the approval and they will make sure that all the documents and all the information is correct because they will send the file to the US Embassy, which will be step number 3. So at the US Embassy or US Consulate, your spouse will have an interview with an immigration officer. She or he will need to submit additional evidence and the documents that you submitted at the very beginning in step number 1. They will stamp a visa so your spouse can travel to the US. And then finally, the green card will be mailed to an address here in the US. So hopefully this video clarified a lot of the questions that you had about the process. If you have any additional questions, you can always reach out to me or any of my team members and we will be more than happy to help you.